Hi everyone, so the patch notes for patch 2.6.10, the season 22 patch are live now. They just released a blog post earlier and I just finished my stream going over it for like 3 hours. You can see here on top I made quite a lot of builds in the free planner already. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff actually they made. So it's quite interesting, especially Wizard has a lot of stuff. And also some other class changes. They buffed a lot of sets, buffed a lot of legendary items. They left other stuff untouched as well, which is yeah, a little bit sad, but maybe for the future. But just in general, new season theme as well. Actually 2 season themes, so that's quite exciting. And I'm gonna show you what's up. So first of all, PTR is gonna start on October 1. There's gonna be a 2 weeks PTR, and then last time they said they want to do like a 1 week break in between. So the season 21 is gonna end sometime end of October, and then the next season is gonna start also like very close to end of October probably. So that's the current time schedule right now. And well, we have like the typical stuff for PTR. There's gonna be legendary drop rate, blood shards, and so on, class changes, and also the theme. Where's that? Here. So it's about the shadows. So basically the season theme, it gives you a clone of yourself, and I believe there's going to be a little bit like the Haunt of Vaxo amulet that we know from the game already. So it's basically this amulet here, and it spawns a shadow clone when you stun an enemy, and I assume it's going to be something like that. So when you use this, you see like these little guys here come out. And the way this works in the season is that they will spawn from pylons, and they will assist you for 1 minute. And here we have for each class you're gonna get a different shadow, and there's gonna be 3 different builds that you can use. So you see like these are like the skills of like build variation 1. Witch Doctor, you know, it has like those 6 skills, and the other one has those 6 skills, and so on. Yeah, right now it seems mostly like, you know, a selection of like kind of random skills. Sometimes with some buffs, sometimes with some debuffs and so on, but mostly kind of like, yeah, we'll see how good this is, how much impact this has. 1 minute is not really a short time, and apparently they scale with your damage in some way, so we'll see. I imagine this is going to be a little bit like season 19, I guess, where you have like a little bit of control over, you know, like randomized damage effects, so maybe they might be strong enough to actually do something. They seem to be scaling with your damage, not with the Great Rift here though. So we'll see how good this will be in late game, and how good this will be in speed farming, I don't know, because when you're just running through a rift anyway in 3 minutes, you click like 3 pylons, you have like 3 of those clones, how much are they gonna do? Who knows? But yeah, it's gonna be quite exciting. I'm really looking forward to testing this, and you can see like for every class there's gonna be a lot of stuff. And on top of that, there's an extra seasonal theme as well, which is the Kanai's cube effect. You will have a 4th slot in the season, so you can get the regular like weapon, armor, jewelry, and like a Joker piece where you can cube anything. So I think that is really amazing. This is what a lot of people liked in season 20, and I believe this is, you know, even if the other stuff is, you know, not really impactful or great or something, just the Kanai's cube effect is already pretty amazing as a season theme, I believe. And you know, it's going to buff certain builds by quite a lot. It's going to give flexibility, especially, you know, for starting out the season. You can you know, like put something into the cube that's like a necessary piece for your build, and so on. You can experiment, especially in T16. So that's pretty amazing. It's going to create its own meta just for the season as well. So, you know, despite of what might be really good, you know, another build might have a really strong option suddenly, and so on. So I think this is amazing. This gives, you know, people like me something to do as well with theory crafting, and also like, you know, all the hobby theory crafters, I guess, you know, can just like do their own stuff. So that's amazing. I'm quite excited to see what we're gonna get there. So let's go into the juicy stuff here. Also, Hydra's gift actually got changed. So next season we're gonna get Hydra's gift, all the new sets. So this is extremely strong for basically everyone. We get, you know, Frenzy, Veiler, Gaze of Dreadlands, Patterns of Justice, Bone Spear. Bone Spear got a huge buff as well, so it's not bad. Mundunugu is really strong, Typhoon. So basically all these sets are really good now. All the new sets are nice, and they're gonna, you know, just throw you into T16 almost immediately, basically. There's like another small change of Paragon bonus being Gold Find now. Gold Find changed to Gold Pickup Radius. That's nice, but ultimately not really a big deal. So here comes the items. The biggest change by far is probably the Edge Sigil. So there's a lot of wizard stuff in general. There's going to be Frozen Orb, there's going to be Energy Twister that's back, and the channeling builds that are kind of dead. And Hydra is on the table now. So we have already the Hydra build being the strongest wizard build in the game with LOD Hydras, where you stand the channel, and that might still be similar, but there is like a new item here, Fragment of Destiny. So this was your like a generator item. It's a wand, and now this gives you like a buff where your signature spells can increase your Hydra damage with a stacking effect. So basically, they want you to, like, you know, spam your generator on a wizard, and then you can just throw down your Hydra, usually with Arcane Dynamo synergy and so on. On top of that, they also added Blizzard to this with the Winter Flurry. So you see this here as an offhand for a wizard, and this makes it so that Hydras deal more damage to enemies in the Blizzard. So I originally suggested something like that for the set itself, but I guess this is, you know, just equally good to include Blizzard in the set somehow. I think that's pretty cool because you kind of have to, you know, figure out where to put your Blizzard. You have to be careful with Arcane Dynamo to not waste your Arcane Dynamo, so you kind of want to set it up before and so on. So I think it's going to be quite interesting actually to play the Wizard now. And you can actually walk around, you don't have to stand still and channel all the time. So that's really amazing. Because, you know, for the most part, you're going to have Fragment of Destiny, and then you have the Serpent Sparker, and those are going to be your two weapons for the Hydra build. Another one that got a big buff here is Frozen Orb. So we have Wizard Spike, which is a dagger that actually every class used to be able to cube. We'll see if that still continues. But yeah, it's going to be another Frozen Orb item, so you can, like, you know, also run around, do like a nice like Frozen Orb build, maybe with the Xeris, maybe with LOD. So we'll see about that. They didn't actually buff the Xeris all that much. Yeah, it's like some of the sets got like a buff that usually ranges somewhere between like 2 to 4 tiers. So for example, this year is something like a 2 or 3 tier buff. Same with Typhoon. Then you have Akkhans, which is like a 1 tier buff or so, or 1.5. You have Rolands, which is also like a small buff of like 2 tiers or so. Blessed Hammer got like a 2 tier buff or so. So yeah, you see it's like a little bit of an extra boost here and there, but nothing really game-changing, I'd say, for these sets. And this kind of continues, you know, all the way. Witch Doctor got quite big buffs here with Arashir and Helltooth. So those are like +4 or even 5 tiers almost. There's also an option for some Zombie Bears or Zombie Charger now. This is probably not enough to make it really viable, but it's actually like on the table now, so you can kind of try to make a build of it. I'm definitely gonna try. Zombie Bears is also something that I think is really cool on Witch Doctor, and I'm happy to see that they're trying to make like a change here. They can probably just, you know, up the number a bit more, and you can have like a pretty cool build like this. I already made a defeat banner here, and I'll do something like this. So Helltooth, Captain Crimson, you just spam your zombie chargers, you know, run around, and I think that could be quite fun. But yeah, we'll see about that. Angry Chicken actually got a huge buff. I think this might be helpful for like bounty builds and T16 builds and so on, especially combined with the Helltooth buff or so, or the Arashir. So we'll see. Shenlong's got a huge buff here. It's not really good enough for the generator builds right now, but with the seasonal theme, adding a 4th Kanai's Cube buff, you can do Tempest Rush with Shenlongs. I played that build already in Season 20, I cleared a tier 140 of this, and this is going to be even stronger now because of the extra cube. So I think Monk is going to go very close to solo 150 at the very high-end Paragon. I guess something like 148 at least. And you know, even with like 2.5k Paragon, you can probably do something like 145 plus. So it's gonna be amazing. So definitely one of the stronger classes, the Monk in Season 22. And yeah, some other small buffs here. Exploding Palm buff, I guess. Yeah, Uliana is gonna be way behind. Inna's EP is gonna be way behind, even with like a buff to Inna's. Yeah, it's gonna be Tempest Rush all the way basically for now. But it's gonna be quite fun, trust me. The Shenlong stuff is pretty cool. Then there's also like a small buff to Leapquake, 200% damage. This might be decent now to kind of like go, you know, close to what Whirlwind can do and Frenzy Barb, I guess. I would, you know, just gut feeling it says that, you know, it's probably going to be close to Frenzy Barb, and that is like, I don't know, 3-4 tiers behind Whirlwind or so. Not the worst. So I can definitely do something with that. I might try on the PTR. And yeah, there's some other small stuff here. Ivory Tower got completely gutted. So the way this worked is that it's basically we were able to block lots of targets, lots of attacks, in the same second, but you only had like a cap of 5 fires of heaven every second. And then instead of doing more, you would scale up the damage. So usually you have like a crazy pull and you get like 50 blocks a second, and then your damage will just like skyrocket for each of these blocks. But now it's capped to 2.5 times, and that should be way lower than whatever it did right now for people that use it to push. So this is pretty much dead. Crusader, this will be a small nerf to Crusader, I guess, for solo pushing, because usually they use Ivory Tower right now, and you have to go back to Picksticker or something. Or the Nerval's Favor. This is the 2-piece set for Crusader, which is the Steed charge set. And this is a huge buff now, from 100% bonus to 400% bonus, effectively giving you 2.5 times total damage compared to before. And this can make a lot of stuff quite interesting. So for Rift Guardian killers, this is going to be insane. Like Crusaders is going to destroy stuff. Probably for solo, you can also make some stuff happen with this. And like there's going to be a bombardment build again that might be quite good. So we have a really huge buff here with 2 times 500% damage bonus to bombardment. So you can do Akkhans with this Steed charge set, and then play a Thorns build, kind of like the Lon Thorns Crusader back in the day. This might actually be fairly decent, so this could be somewhere up there. Probably not beating the Valor set, but we'll see. Definitely one of the better builds, I assume, by just judging from those numbers. Those are 2 really huge multipliers here. So I did mention the Bone Spear earlier a little bit, so this is actually a new item here that I added for Simulacrums with Bone Spear. The new set for Necromancer is actually fairly decent. I pushed with it. I pushed 140 in season 21 with this. With the season theme actually doing a lot of work. So without the season theme, I guess the set would be around 8 to 10 degrees weaker. So let's say like 132. And then this will kind of bring it up back again to like 140 something. So yeah, kind of where the other Necro sets will be, maybe slightly worse. The thing is that right now there's actually a bug on the live servers in season 21 where with Tragul's Scythe you double dip with Simulacrums. So basically you deal triple the damage than you otherwise would, and this buffs the cursed Scythe Necro by quite a bit because it runs the weapon anyway. So basically you just get like triple damage for free. So if that bug is gonna get fixed, which there's like no note for in those patch notes, but maybe it might be fixed behind the scenes, then this will actually put the builds quite close together. With the bug still in the game, yeah, the cursed Scythe is gonna win anyway, I guess, by quite a mile. But yeah, when the bug is fixed, then with this new item, Bone Spear is gonna be very good. And just like that, just even outside of the solo pushing scenario, Bone Spear is gonna be very strong with this no matter what. So definitely one of the like probably top 3 Necro builds. And yeah, it can be also like quite competitive with other classes. And finally we have Energy Twister, sort of wizard. So I mentioned the Edge Sigil already, so that got changed to not be a generic damage buff anymore, and now it has Energy Twister damage. And there's also Balthek's Rebuke, which is the weapon that makes your Energy Twisters travel in a straight line. It's a staff. And this also gives you a big damage buff with the Desire buff, with the bracers that are on top of that. There's the Twisted Sword. There's a lot of stuff. And on season, you can play with Death Wish as well. So you can stand there and channel with like huge multipliers. And this Energy Twister is gonna rock. So yeah, I don't know exactly about the build. Maybe use the Wicked Wind rune. Maybe use the rune where the Twisters combine. We'll see about those details, I guess. But for the most part, Energy Twister looks extremely strong. So yeah, the Wizard with Twister, with Hydra, can be quite good in season 22. And yeah, we'll see how this holds up. But definitely there are some options now. I'm not sure about the Arcane Orb, if that is good enough. There used to be some Arcane Orb builds playing around Veers or like Akkhan basically. That might also still be a thing now. And yeah, otherwise there's gonna be at least 3 pretty good wizard builds now. So this is about it. So they didn't really change much of the other sets, like Necromancer sets were not touched, besides like a little bit of the new set. Demon Hunter was not touched at all, no nerf for Demon Hunter. So I guess everyone was expecting a nerf to God DH. I actually suggested to cap the hanging arrow pierces at some point, at something like, for example, 20 pierces, because that would be a nerf that doesn't really impact the overall like farming performance and so on for most people. Even the pushing performance, not that much for most people, but it would kind of like reduce the higher end potential a bit, because you know the God DH scales a lot with good maps, with good gameplay and so on, and it is actually quite balanced for the most part in like farming content. So this would be a nice change, I guess, to bring it a little bit in line. But yeah, they kind of want to have good builds, I guess, that compete with each other, and maybe we'll see other buffs in the future. Yeah, so right now, yeah, to sum it up, I guess, the red meta is going to be insane for 4-man. With this cube buff, and there's no nerf to rats whatsoever. Rats is already the best XP meta in the game. They're farming like up to tier 120 or so on seasonal. With an extra cube slot, you can go Ralina's Shadow Hook or Messerschmitt's, and that would probably buff this whole thing by like another 5 tiers or so, and maybe even more. And just in general, it's going to be pretty insane speed farming next season if they don't nerf rats severely. So, you know, Necromancer has insane weapons for the cube, and benefits the most from like this extra option. Just like in season 20, Necromancers, you know, had all the weapons, and they have really big multipliers everywhere. And then there's, you know, some other builds where you also get like a huge boost, you know, something like the Energy Twister now, for example, where you're actually able to use the Death Wish plus Edge Sigil and so on. So yeah, this is that. 4-man push meta depends a little bit on, you know, what they do with the Dragul's Scythe. If they don't fix Dragul's Scythe, 4-man push meta is going to be similar as before. Necro with Scythe, Crusader for the Rift Guardian killer. They didn't really buff any other Rift Guardian killer. In fact, they buffed the Crusader by a lot because of this this two set change. So Crusader Rift Guardian killer is going to be nuts. And yeah, then the speed farming meta, yeah, as I said. Anyway, these are just like the first patch notes before the PTR even went live, so keep in mind a lot of stuff might change. It's going to be feedback, you know, devs going to go do updates. We can't even test the seasonal theme, we have no clue, you know. Maybe some classes have some really insane seasonal theme with those shadows, and some others don't do anything. And, you know, that can also like impact everything a lot. But just in general, we have like a huge boost to the overall power level of many builds. Not really any nerfs. And yeah, basically a bit more power creep, I guess. So this is, you know, how it's summed up here. And yeah, you can also go read the patch notes for yourself. As I said, the link is in the description. I also put all my D3 panel links that I made so far, which is like around 10 or so, in the description. You also can find them on my Discord. I have a dedicated D3 planner channel, which looks like this. So I just started putting the 2.6.10 theory craft here. And this is already what I have here, basically, including the seasonal theme with the extra Kanai cube slot. I just added it as a little note in the build's name. So you can always see that, for example, when you open this. And then it says plus Rylena, for example, in the name and so on. So yeah, that's probably going to be a lot more added, you know, probably like double or triple of that at least. And then once the PTR actually goes live, we're going to test all of that. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed my little overview here and my thoughts. And we'll see, you know, what the PTR brings. I'm quite excited, and there's going to be, you know, quite interesting stuff coming up in season 22. And yeah, maybe you're excited too. So hope you like this, and I'll see you guys next time.